Imagine for a moment a world where art, music, creativity are gone. Not by war, but by choice. A government so focused on control and uniformity that it finds what is essentially human expression too dangerous. This idea was ultimately inspired by my friend Cheyenne, who's an aspiring writer-director. He works with my cousin, Tyra, who's a cinematographer, and together they make ambitious, beautifully shot short films.
Yeah, all right, send them in.
Now, ultimately, the story that we were discussing, he ended up rewriting and making far more complex, but it still inspired me, and I felt like I needed to write music to this. It started off as a world where art was first exploited as propaganda, and then when a new regime came into power, overcorrected and made art illegal. I felt like even with that information, it still for me warranted further inspiration. So I went down another rabbit hole. This is the Slanik Prahova salt mine in Romania. It's massive. When I first saw photos of this place, I was struck by its vaulted ceilings and cold nature. With this sharpness and post-apocalyptic feel, it made for a perfect setting for a fascist or oppressive government. It reminded me of brutalist architecture. I could imagine it. A place where creativity was demonized. This became the backdrop for my album. This stunning physical space, its dystopian architecture, could represent what happens when a society turns its back on its people and its culture. You know, it's not so far-fetched. It's happened before. This isn't that kind of video. So, when I started writing this song, I felt like it needed to have a sense of grandeur to it. It was like the weight of human history pressing down. But I also needed it to feel a bit delicate, a little fragile. It needed to feel like at any point, this could happen. So I got to work on sort of supporting music, a bit of a pad to make it feel kind of eerie, kind of dystopian. But I also wanted it to feel familiar. I used a bit of synth to try to make it feel like, oh, well, I understand this. Like, this is something I can relate to. This is contemporary, right? So I built up this pad, and it ended up sounding pretty good. So my next step was to layer strings I needed the audience, those who were listening, to feel like there was this inevitability to this. The time was marching forward. I didn't want to use things like, your usual like snare, marching drums, or any of that kind of stuff, that militaristic kind of feel, but I still wanted it to feel like there was a marching to it. So I wrote this ostinato, and then played it into or put it over top of it, and it felt like, yeah, we were moving forward. There was this foreboding feeling. And then finally, I thought, well, look, if you have, like, I had this vision of people standing on the sidelines as the military police kind of march through these massive grand halls. What would those who were artists be feeling in that moment? Their fear, their dread. And I thought, well, maybe this is a good opportunity to kind of utilize some operatic singing, but something that was like each moment that one artist or a person is grabbed and taken quietly away. So like the music, it disappears. These people disappear. So at the end of the song, that's what I've done, is I've just made it so that it quietly goes away, while everyone around them is just being snapped up. Ultimately, the resulting song serves the greater narrative of the album, a sense of hopelessness. Art and music are so important. Although this is a fictional story, it can be believable. After all, it's happened before. At any point, artists can be used as tools for propaganda or villainized as lazy scabs or leeches on society. The Last Supper, the subject of my last video. Da Vinci himself was used as propaganda, but hidden inside of his paintings, his protest. This song for me is the extreme. It paints a dystopian world, and it serves as a reminder that we need to fight for those things that make us human. If this resonates with you, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I've got a lot more coming out about my album, Our Great Nation, coming soon. Thanks for watching.